misconceptions of autism.
One of the ones that I heard about just when I was researching and I was looking at a lot of YouTube videos where people on the spectrum were, sharing what it's been like for them. One of the ones that even I had to a certain point in my life was that it was, just like a singular diagnosis and it isn't, on a spectrum, either somebody is or someone isn't. And I also didn't know that it was also present in women. I feel like a lot of the times when we talk about autism or it's represented, at least in media, it it was mostly men who were shown to be that way. So I don't know, it was also prevalent and also more easily masked in women from what I saw, and what I heard people share. So that was definitely a misconception that I had.
That's actually a good point you bring up, which is autism, is a spectrum. So you might have a friend who is autistic, and then you might meet like another guy who is also autistic, and they might have lived completely different lives because of completely different set of roots. Because they've just because they are autistic doesn't mean go by the same rules, and that's very important to you know, Pranesh.
I think I think the biggest misconception is that like being autistic means you're introverted. That's not true. It's not true at all. Like I think I'm pretty extroverted. Like I'm a very like go like type A person. But like there's also this other thing. So really like it's not so much like whether you're introverted or extrovert because that's to do with whether you prefer being with people and whether you feel comfortable without people. The autism thing just like adds another dimension to that, which is like what do you do to like if you're extroverted and you have this like how do you like navigate that? So there's just like an additional challenge, I guess, if you're an extrovert. But there's extroverted autistics like this. I mean, if you look at like tech, so many of the CEOs that you and I know are probably extroverted and autistic, for example. Like, like that's a very big example, but I think the point is like it's really not correct to make the assumption that autistics are introverted by design. That's just really stupid. And then
That is a good.
second,
Uh,
yeah,
go on, go on.
yeah, and the second thing is like how emotions are processed. So there is this presumption that again autistics are not emotional, but I would argue that we are more emotional because we process a lot more, um, we absorb a lot more. And I would argue that we're more emotional. So I think that's another big misconception.
Both are very good points, and I do want to add to the introvert and the outrovert, introvert and the extrovert thing, which is that sometimes like just because they're different, people might think that like they don't want to be friends or something like that. Sorry, I need to clear my throat. But that doesn't, they're like humans, just as everyone, and they want to hang out with people, they want to interact with people, and just because they see the world in with a different set of eyes, doesn't mean that we should look at them as outliers or anything like that. We should try to connect with them, try to see them as just another person, and talk to them like how you would with any other friend. Ilakkiya?
Yeah, I was gonna bring up something similar to what you just did, Akshay, because one big misconception that I've had in the past is that people who are diagnosed with autism or other disorders like Down syndrome, things like that, would have to go through separate education or like have special education or just learn differently in separate environments, I guess, which is really not the case. And it is possible for everyone to intermingle. Like we're all human, just learn different ways to talk with people, right? So based on the kinds of differences in social interactions that people with autism and without autism might have, just learn how to interact differently or like as in like don't be separating. I guess that was a misconception that I've had in the past. And also that, yes, okay. I forgot my train of thought, so I'll leave it with that.
Okay, yeah, it's good to see those things. It's good to know that when okay, go on.
Yeah, I remembered that you can't really help a person with autism, which is really not true. In all the reading that I was doing, parents can play a big influence in helping their child grow and develop, and the amount of care that parents can give um, towards helping a child learn, get through school, learn how to do their daily things independently, can play a big role. So another misconception is that it's like you can't make someone more psychonormal or like and that's not the I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but I don't know, just you can help.
So I haven't heard psychonormal. That's interesting. I think that's a good point there. I think especially among parents, when you have a kid like this, the instinct is to protect the kid, but I don't think that's wise. What you instant want is a very controlled exposure to adversity, and that is not discussed as much as it should be. But I suspect that that will be a very effective strategy in preparing this person for the real world.
I agree with that. And plus, if the parents encourage masking, which we have defined earlier,
Yes.
then it would tell the children that autism is a bad thing and
Yeah.
it's something that you should hide and you can only reveal it to your close ones, and that sends the wrong message.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like autism is a bad thing. Autism is just something different. It's not something. It doesn't make it a bad thing. And if you say it's a bad thing, that comes from a place of ignorance or a place of a stigmatic view, like a view with stigma. So
I think it's important to be cautious with how the narrative is framed here, because in the attempt to make this a positive thing, there are people who go completely left field, and they're like, oh, if you're autistic, you must be smart, which is also like very idiotic and not very useful. I think it just should be like in the middle, neutral, balanced. It should be like, here's what it is. Let's just make sure the other person's heard. It's very simple. It's very commonsensical.
true. Just let them define themselves and see
Yeah,
how it goes.
yeah.
Uh,
Just make them
let
feel heard.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.